Nope, we're live.
Hi everyone, so this is my second interview of the day, and today's one is with John Kenny. John Kenny is a transformational coach. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Emma from social media agency 24 Fingers. We help people that are all fingers and thumbs with their social media. Handing over to John. Hi John.
Hi, Emma, how are you?
All right, I'm okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. You coping all right?
I'm coping all right. I just said it's Friday, but to be quite honest, I don't know if it's Friday, Sunday morning or evening anyway, so it just makes no odds at the minute.
Yeah, I said that on Monday for the bank holiday. I went, does it really matter?
No, it doesn't. I think is the answer to that. So, John, should we kick off? What's your favourite word?
I have difficulty with this. There's a word I use a lot when I just want something to say, which is badger.
Okay.
Which is something I got from Eddie Izzard when I was a massive Eddie Izzard fan many years ago.
I remember that sketch.
Yeah, and I just badger. But when I was thinking, I thought smidgen. I like smidgen.
Smidgen, okay.
Like a smidgen's a good word.
Smidgen, okay. What gets you up in the morning?
My alarm. Me, actually, not much with sunshine. I like the daylight. That kind of gets me up. But it's I don't have problems getting up in the morning. I kind of got a routine, so I just like to get out of bed. I get myself my protein shake, and I go and sit in the garden when the sun's out and just chill a little bit. But yeah, I don't have any problems getting up.
I can tell you're a morning person. What do you truly, honestly think of social media?
Go
on, be honest. Be honest.
It's balance. It's a balanced scale. I think some of it's awful and some of it's really good.
Much like life.
Yeah, some of it's really down. Yeah, it is. It's very much like a relationships in general. Some of it can be really damaging, but some of it can be really positive. So I think for keeping in touch with people, for business wise, I think it's quite good. But I think obviously there's a lot of toxicity and abuse and stuff that also goes on, which is terrible. Which I think they need to get a grip of a lot more. But yeah, I think it's like everything in life, it has its good and its bad stuff.
The game of two halves, as they say. Kindles or books?
Kindles.
Really?
Yeah, I just like to get hold of my phone and just read a book rather than pick up a book nowadays. I actually think I prefer, obviously it's a lot easier to mark like books, so like, when you've got your little things in here. But yeah, I much prefer just to pick my phone up and have a little read in my Kindle.
Yeah, no, completely opposite. Books all the way. What do you think is the biggest challenge to your industry right now? So a coach, and I was talking to a coaching person 2 days ago, and she said something that really hit home. It'd be interesting to see what you think the biggest challenges to the coaching industry right now.
I think obviously at the moment there's a lot of people that are unsure about what they want to do. So I don't think there's a lot of people maybe out there looking for coaching until they kind of get a little bit more stable and kind of think about what they want. I think it's about being taken seriously a lot of the time because coaching isn't a profession that that is regulated. So I speak to a lot of coaches that I wouldn't speak to myself as a coach because they don't have the background. They're coming from a personal experience and they're trying to sell people their personal experiences, and I find that quite difficult to kind of stomach sometimes.
She said exactly saying that coaching is unregulated industry. The quality barometer can be very varied, and I've seen that for myself. So interesting that you say that too. Yeah,
I've had quite a few clients come to me and say, like, I started talking to this person and they opened me up on this and then said, oh no, we don't deal with that. And I was like, well, why get someone into that space in the first place where then you say, oh no, you need to go and talk to someone else about that. That's not what I do. No. I can just tell you how to do this. But I think it's okay if you've got something like a property coach or something like that where they're just saying, this is how you buy and sell houses, or this is how you can do this and this is how you can do that, and have a kind of a very scheduled structure kind of thing in place. I think, you could sell that. From your personal experience, because you kind of know what works,
isn't it? It's people's life you're dealing with.
But then with most coaching, it is life coaching. Whether you call yourself a life coach or not, it has a tendency to revolve around life. So it would be great if you had some kind of certification to prove that you at least understand the process of what coaching is all about.
1,000,000%. So did you want to be a coach when you were growing up?
No, I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was growing up. I was no, I don't even think I had any career advice or anything like that when I was at school. I don't remember doing. I didn't do work experience. I had no idea. I was very lucky when I found athletics. I wanted to be an athlete for about 10 years, but then when that didn't pay off, I had no idea what to do. And then just through trial and error, really, I came across psychology and got really interested in psychology, and that kind of led me on this path. So I was, it took me to my early 30s before I kind of started on this journey.
Interesting. So you just answered my next question. So your favourite word, let's use smidgen. Can you use it in a sentence?
Smidgen. I like to put a smidgen of spice in my food.
Okay. Now, can you make it rhyme?
Pigeon. I like to put a bit of spice on me pigeon. A smidgen of spice on me pigeon. How about that?
Well done, John. Well done. What advice would you give to your younger self?
Stretch. Depending on how old he was, really. So definitely stretch. Keep yourself supple. It'll do you a world of good when you get older. And get help. And it's not your fault.
Very good. I understand that. What's the best thing anyone's ever done for you?
I think probably when I got turned on to coaching, really, when I met a coach and they told me that I can change my story. And that led me onto the journey where I completely turned my own life around. So I would say that's probably the best thing anyone's ever done for me, is just to say, you can change this and you can be happy.
Amazing. What's been your career defining moment? You might not have had it yet.
Career defining. So my career now as a coach, probably, I don't know. When you get positive feedback, I mean, that's the goosebumpy stuff I get. My documentary, I would imagine, would be my the thing that I'm most proud of at the moment.
Good.
Yeah.
So you said that you were a morning person. Can you give us a time saver of the day?
Don't spend so much time on that. Turn it off.
Yeah. We have a rule at home that we don't have phones on after 7.
Okay.
So my son come up with that rule, which is quite unusual. And no, mum, stop messaging, be off your phone. So that really does help. And I know for like, was it blue light? Is that right? Blue light.
Oh yeah, I put it on the red. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I don't take that advice, by the way. I have a tendency to pick up my phone. But I work till 9 most evenings, so I have mine on until 9 at least. But yeah, I do tell myself you need to put this thing down because you're wasting your own time. So
you know, when you're browsing, it's great.
Yeah.
If you want to book a award of some kind, who do you thank?
What will my award be for?
No, anything. Which one of your many achievements?
I would just, it'd be everybody, wouldn't it? I'd thank my parents for turning me into the person or allowing me to be the person I am today. Obviously, there'd be my wife, friends.
Hello, Lauren.
And probably my coaches, actually. The coaches I've had. So my athletics coach, unfortunately, he's passed away now. Definitely would thank him. And the coaches that have helped me to find my way in this profession.
Genuinely, I think I'd never used to have a coach before, and over the last 18 months, I've had a few, and the difference it made to my life to have a coach, just incredible, because I think we're all guilty of only seeing our limitations, and a coach can really help you broaden your ambition, broaden your horizons, but then metaphorically give you that security blanket and a bit of a comfort factor to think,
yeah,
someone's got my back and they're going to guide me through the process. They're not going to do the process for me, but they're there. And yeah, huge. And especially this year, I can hear my son in the kitchen. I'm going to ask him to turn his music down. Darling, can you turn your music down, please? Thank you. And the difference it's made in terms of what I can achieve, but also just believing in myself, like a hugely incredible.
Yeah. I would definitely add I'd add my supervisor for my counselling when my counselling supervisor, because she really championed me, really, I would say, and led me to kind of hold some kind of self-belief about that I was capable of what I was doing. She would definitely get a thank you.
I did a post yesterday on LinkedIn about the fact that I was really scared of something last year, and I got out of my own way and I got out of my comfort zone. It's the best thing that I did, and it's the highlight of my week that I do now. And if I'd have said no, and if I'd have listened to that inner voice, I would never be doing what I'm doing now. And yeah, it's great. So where do you see yourself and your company in 24 months?
I'd like to be doing a lot more. I've got this idea in my head, which I won't share with you now because it's a little bit complicated. I'd like to be spreading the word of interpersonal relationship coaching around, not just around the UK, but around the world, because I think the message that I've got is massively important for people to hear. And so, yeah, in a couple of years' time, I'd like to be doing a lot more speaking and spreading the philosophy that I've got behind my coaching.
Go, John. And where were you 24 months ago?
Sorry, well, where was I 24 months ago?
Physically, spiritually, whatever.
Yes, actually, I just arrived in Egypt. No, Turkey. I was in Turkey. That was Egypt last year. So Turkey. I was actually in Turkey physically 2 years ago. The business was probably not anywhere. I was probably still hadn't got my mojo together at that point. Or my niche, I hadn't kind of focused on where I wanted to get to. So I was still figuring it all out then.
So I met your wife 2 years ago, actually. I don't know if it's May. It certainly wasn't earlier than that. So we must have connected around that time as well, actually, which is quite interesting. What's an interesting fact about you?
That I used to be an international athlete.
In what field?
Sprinting. Sprinter, yes. Yeah, ran for Great Britain a few times when I was younger.
I definitely am not a sprinter.
I'm definitely not a runner.
John, if you could have a 24-minute Skype chat with anybody living or dead, who would it be?
Jesus. I'd just like to know who he was, what his message was, what the reality of the situation was.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And what's one word you'd like people to describe you with?
Empathetic.
Hugely important.
Yeah.
Would you mind taking a selfie for us? If you smile and take a screenshot.
Yes.
Brilliant, done. What's your favourite Twitter handle or social media campaign, if you've got one? Because you must think you're on your phone a lot.
I don't actually, no. I'm not a massive social media follower. I put my stuff out there and I follow a few other people, and if something sort of pops up that I like the look of, I'll like it, follow it, share it, whatever. But no, I don't have a favourite thing.
Someone's got to convince John. This is your challenge for the year. What's one quote that defines your work ethic?
One quote. So my favourite quote would be Cole Bard, which is, although we cannot make a new beginning, we can start now to make a brand new ending. Something like that.
Good. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
What's been the best part of your day?
So far today, obviously talking to you. When I realised my heart rate I did my cycling session this morning and my heart rate stayed really low, so I must be getting fitter.
Good. So, so you're winning all round.
I am.
Weekend tomorrow. Finally, anything to plug?
Loads of stuff.
Go for it.
So obviously there's my coaching. So if anyone's interested in coaching, they can contact me for a complimentary consultation. And I've actually just put together, with the help of a few other people, a membership site. So if you would like to know a little bit more about coaching, want to get involved in coaching and not sure if you want to coach of your own at the moment, my membership site has dozens of downloadable coaching tools, PDFs you can have. I've got some audio and video programs on there. I'm going to be doing some live Q&A stuff. So if you are in the market for a bit of coaching but don't know if you can afford a coach or not sure if that's the right thing for you and you want to try it yourself, then the membership site's a really good way to start. And I'm running a special offer on that one at the moment for just £39 a month.
Amazing. So, John, before I leave you, can you give us some advice for anybody that's in lockdown with somebody that's driving them insane?
Yeah.
And they're confined in a space, in a physical space, but also a metaphorical space with somebody that they're struggling with to get a good relationship.
Okay, so yes, you luckily enough from next week you'll be able to escape a little bit more. So make sure you find some time for yourself so that you're not under that constant pressure of wherever you feel you are, suffocation or disempowerment. But maybe the most important advice I give generally would be that nothing is personal. So no matter how someone is treating you, they're doing it for their own gain and for their own needs. So you don't need to feel like a victim or that they're aiming it at you. It's just that they're trying to achieve something. And if you can take a step out of feeling like a victim, or if you can take a step out of taking it personally, then that'll relieve a lot of pressure on you to be able to figure out, okay, why are they doing what they're doing? And what are they trying to achieve from that? And whether you're going to allow that to happen anymore. Are you going to keep feeding them? And if they are doing that, then I would suggest it's quite a toxic and unhealthy relationship. And as soon as you can, you need to sort that out.
Thank you very much, John. That was really helpful. Great as ever talking to you, and wishing you health, happiness, and safety for all of this.
Thank you very much, and the same to you.
Take care.
You be good to yourself.
Thanks. Bye.